Welcome back, everybody! Last video, I did a list of the top 10 worst movies of 2015. Now it's time to reveal the top 10 best movies of 2015. For this list, I will show the films that I had a lot of fun watching, and the films that I saw that were so groundbreaking and so jaw-dropping that you just have to see these movies immediately. There were some films that I loved and gave a 5 out of 5 to, but the ones on this list I thought were more amazing and more brilliantly put together, and those films absolutely take the cake. So before I list down the top 10 most amazing films that have ever been made this year, here are a few honorable mentions. Okay, let's do this. Number 10, Krampus. I was really anticipating this movie, and I really hoped it was going to be good, and boy did this film exceed my expectations. Krampus is another one of those films that pays homage to the classic Christmas horror comedies like Gremlins, except that this film happens to be one of the most unique, creative, creepy, hilarious, and fascinating Christmas horror comedies I've watched all my life. And yes, Michael Dougherty had certainly created a better horror comedy than the guy who made The Last Airbender. The cast is a lot of fun, the practical effects in this movie are very well done and creative, and the film is also pretty funny, while at the same time, it's kind of creepy at parts. And don't forget the ending, because the ending is one of the best parts in the movie. Number 9, The Walk. Robert Zemeckis has brought filmmaking to a whole new light when he created The Walk, a film where the most famous high-wire artist Felipe Petit, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, is trying to accomplish his dream by walking on a bouncing beam on top of the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. And what happens is pretty epic, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, and also, if you have a Blu-ray 3D player, buy this movie for the 3D. It's well worth it. Number 8, The Hateful Eight. Quentin Tarantino has made yet another awesome movie, first Django Unchained, and now The Hateful Eight. This film has the brilliance of Reservoir Dogs and the outright violence and awesomeness of Django Unchained. The story hooks you in with some amazing plot turns here and there. The acting was great, especially from Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell, Tim Roth, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Walton Goggins, Michael Madsen, and even Channing Tatum. The humor in this movie was well put together, and the violence is every bit as great as it needed to be. Even though this film is pretty long, it's still a Tarantino film that is absolutely worth watching. Number 7, The Revenant. If there was one film that would make Leonardo DiCaprio finally win an Oscar, then it's this film right here. I mean, he tried it with the Scorsese movie, but now he's doing it from the guy who made Birdman. And someone in Hollywood needs to finally realize that Leonardo DiCaprio deserves his Oscar. But not only is his performance excellent, but the film itself is just ruthless, raw, and really, really good. The performances are great, the cinematography is well shot, and the action was good as well. And the must-see scene of the entire movie is DiCaprio fighting a freaking bear. It's just as amazing as it sounds. Number 6, Bridge of Spies. Steven Spielberg, thank God you exist. You and Tom Hanks have finally reunited once again to make Bridge of Spies. It's not only one of the best films of the year, it's quite possibly one of the best films about a historical event ever produced. The screenplay is great, the dialogue is so well written, the script was put together very, very well, and the score from Thomas Newman is probably one of the best scores you can hear all year. Yeah, it's that good. Number 5, Creed. What a way to expand the story of the characters that are a part of the great Rocky franchise. Not only that, but also this movie is one of the best Rocky films that have ever been made on the big screen. From the tense fighting sequences, to the brilliant screenplay of Adonis Creed's storyline, to the great acting from Michael B. Jordan and Sylvester Stallone, who do really excellent in the film, and Michael B. Jordan, keep being in these incredible movies like this, Chronicle and Fruitvale Station, because you are going places, my man. Number 4, Beasts of No Nation. I am just as shocked as you are at this point. A Netflix original film being known to being on my list as one of the most incredible cinematic creations of 2015? I know, right? But yeah, Beasts of No Nation is not only a great film, it's one of the most dramatic, disturbing, and emotional movies you can see this year as of right now. The dramatic elements in this film work, especially with the relationship between Idris Elba and Abraham Attah as the child soldier Agu, one of the year's best child performances of the year. And brace yourself for this one, folks, because it's this year's 12 Years a Slave. Number 3, Star Wars The Force Awakens. The year 2015 itself has built up to this, the ultimate blockbuster of the year, and probably this decade. Star Wars The Force Awakens has an amazing cast, great acting, especially from John Boyega and Daisy Ridley, and this movie did have one heck of a story that carried on a link to the originals, and not to mention that the characters are very well developed in this movie as well, including from new characters like Kylo Ren and one of the greatest heroines of the year, Rey. This movie not only exceeded our expectations, but it ultimately made Star Wars good again. Number 2, The Martian. Ridley Scott has finally come back to the roots of creating sci-fi movies, and this happens to be one of the best films he has made. Of course, this was an adaptation of a book made by Andy Weir, but Ridley Scott has made it into a Castaway-styled epic that is all about one man trying to survive the forces of Mars. Matt Damon absolutely nails his role as Mark Watney, and so does the rest of the cast, who also do a well-done job in the roles. It's funny, it's mind-blowing, it's inspiring, and it's also probably the best movie that Matt Damon was in when he's in space. Unlike this so-called sci-fi classic. Number 1, Mad Max Fury Road. You guys, I've seen Mad Max Fury Road about 5 times now, and I still don't know where to start with this freaking film. This film is such a spectacularly important and groundbreaking film, and not only that, but this film is without question absolutely revolutionary. And I'm not saying this like I just watched it by turning off my brain and saying it's a classic. No, it's because of the amount of imagination, effort, talent, and creativity that George Miller put into this film, and it is beyond one of the best works that I have ever seen out of a director. You can teach a class on this movie, and you can teach a class with this movie because of the types of ways that this film uses in a unique style, so that the people can learn stuff like that, so they can create their own passion project or their unbelievably revolutionary film. Mad Max Fury Road's story is incredible, that revolves around the situations of the franchise's 4 best characters. The fight sequences are one of the greatest things you will see all year. The cinematography is beautifully shot and widely scoped and awe-inducing, and the soundtrack, oh my god, it is one of the best scores you can listen to all year. This film has the best score of the year, the best editing of the year, the best cinematography, characters, sound design, screenplay of the year. And yes, Mad Max Fury Road is the best film of the year. Do not wait for it. See it now. It's a freaking masterpiece. And that was my list of the top 10 best movies of 2015. Hope 2016 has something great to give us. My name is Luke Nukem, and you have been blown away.